segment of the Sit Down with Malik Wright. And obviously, I'm not Malik Wright, but I've got a bold take for you guys. And this is presented by First Star Logistics. The Detroit Lions are Super Bowl contenders. Yes, I said Super Bowl contenders. And the reason why is I'm going to make a couple points. You guys can agree with me. You can disagree with me. Drop a comment down below. But first off, you look at their defensive line. Defensive lines win games. Offensive lines win games. And when you look at the rest of the NFC, nobody else is really competing with them besides the 49ers and the Eagles. So how have they won their games so far? You look at that defensive line. They're pressuring the quarterback. Aidan Hutchinson has looked like one of the best young talents in the entire league. You go and switch to the other side of the ball. Their offensive line is a top 5 unit in the NFL. So why does that mean so much? Come playoff time, I'm telling you guys, the passing game, the high-flying shootouts go out the window. It's really a trenches game. And if you can say that you've got a dominant defensive line to flush the quarterbacks like a Kirk Cousins, like a Brock Purdy, like a Jalen Hurts, you stand a chance, right? Because in the playoffs, teams with no defensive line can let their quarterbacks roam all over them. Their defensive line gives them a chance because their secondary is injured, because their secondary isn't the greatest in the league. Now, on the offense side of the ball, they can control the game. You look at teams like the Tennessee Titans, like the Baltimore Ravens that have had these fluke runs in the playoffs. How have they done it? They can control the pace of the game, and that's what the Detroit Lions do. So I look at Jared Goff. He's a capable quarterback. He's got the weapons around him. He's made Sam Laporta look like an all-pro tight end this year. So their offense, I'm confident in it. You've got 2 great running backs, Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. They can control the pace on offense, and they've got the pass rush to do it. Malik, what do you say, Super Bowl contenders?
Usually I sit on here and I disagree with everything you say. I was one of the ones that was very bullish on the Lions because I had to see it to believe it. To me, I think this Lions football team in its final form are going to be Super Bowl contenders. I think right now this team is a very well put together football team. Football was won in the trenches, offense and defense. And I think we have to give a shout out to the Lions brass, from the general manager to the head coach. All these years, whether when it was losing, we were like, what is the end goal for this Lions team? What are they trying to build? And whether it be drafting of Penei Sewell, and now, they were able to draft a luxury player this year and a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs, and you see what he's able to bring to the table. And Sam Laporta was playing one of the best tight ends in all of football and putting up record historic numbers. I think you have to say the Lions are Super Bowl contenders. I think when it's all said and done, I don't think this Lions team is quite ready to compete with the 49ers just quite yet. But I do think that they can pose issues for a team like the Eagles. I do think that they can be in the NFC Championship. I think that this Lions team is for real. And shout out Dan Campbell. I remember we were at the Combine. You had a conversation with him, man, and just seeing how intense he was and how sure he was of what the culture, the standard that they were building in Detroit. And now you're seeing it manifest itself is huge, man. You get the wide receiver, Jameson Williams, back, right? Who's playing like Jameson Williams back at the University of Alabama almost, man. And it's just really, really cool to see, man. You look at the way that this Lions football team is built. And here's something that I want to elaborate upon even more, man. I think a lot of people were ready to write Jared Goff's obituary. And shout out to the Lions. They stuck by him. And they said, you know what, we believe in Jared Goff. This is a guy that is battle-tested. This is a guy that has Super Bowl starting experience, that has been through the ringer, that has went through the playoffs when he was with the Rams. He's experienced. He's been there before. And all Jared Goff has done is answer the bell. Every single time the Detroit Lions needed him to, he stepped up to the plate. Hasn't always been great, but what he's done this year is just win. That's what Jared Goff has done. That's what this Lions team has done. And I'm a firm believer is you have to know how to lose in order to know how to win. I'm a firm believer of that because I think that the losses make you that much stronger, and it helps you never get too high, never get too low, always remain even keeled. And that's what this Lions football team is about. This is a young but also experienced football team. They have people who've played a lot of downs on this roster, man, from the offense, defense, and special team side of the football. And just credit to Dan Campbell because a lot of people, including myself, were saying all the rah, 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 the speeches and all that kind of stuff are good. They work as long as you're winning. Well, guess what? The Lions are winning. So, yes, Daniel, I agree with you. Lions are Super Bowl contenders. I think that this Lions team is going to continue to get better and better as the season goes on. And, yeah, man, I agree with you.
And the last thing I want to talk about real quick, you said Dan Campbell, and also huge shout out to Brad Holmes. And, we talked with them at the Combine. They said there's 3 parts to rebuilding a team, right? They got brought in a couple years ago. They said, 1, it's the rebuilding phase. You got to clean house and get new faces in there. 2, it's the infuse your team with youth. That's what they did. Penei Sewell, right? Jahmyr Gibbs. You added Jameson Williams. You added Aidan Hutchinson. You added a bunch of young talent. And then what's the 3rd phase? It's talent acquisition. That's what they did. You go out and add David Montgomery. You go out and clean your entire defensive back room. That's the phase they're in right now. And I still don't think they're a complete product because that defense does need some work. That secondary is kind of in shambles. But when you look at the team, they've got a window the next couple years that they can really go out and compete and maybe even win a Super Bowl at some point in the next couple of years.
So do you think they're a contender this year? You have to say they're a contender this year.
1,000%.
Right?
I think, once again, it's the 49ers in my opinion, and then they're on the same tier with the Eagles. I really think they're on the same tier with the Eagles. I truly do. I think in the playoffs, if we see Lions versus Eagles, that is going to be a damn close match. But then it's everybody else. The Lions are, in my opinion, a tier above the Cowboys. They're a tier above everybody else. So
let us know down in the comment section what you think. Do you guys think that the Detroit Lions are Super Bowl contenders, or are we just, believing too much into the hype? Let us know in the comment section what you guys think. If you like more video content like this, give this video a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and turn on post notifications so you guys don't miss when we go live from the First Star Logistics Studio.